Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. Today's date is Monday, December 14th, 2020, so already halfway through the final month of the year, which is great. This video will cover the week of December 7th through the 13th of 2020. So this was definitely a productive week, got a couple of platinum trophies and made some progress in some games, but before I talk about that, I will quickly mention that I have been informed that GTA 5 is continuing to do their $1 million a month for signing in promotion thing, at least until part of next year, like until the game fully releases on PS5. So just make sure to log in once a month if you're playing that and want to get some easy cash. I've been doing that. Otherwise, I also logged in and played a little bit of Destiny 2 on Sunday just to see how the game had changed. It looks radically different, and I am so glad I got that Triumph seal done when I did, because that seal was vaulted and can no longer be earned. So I am very glad I got that one done. And I also own Shadowkeep now. I don't own Beyond Light, and I won't buy it until it gets, a whole lot cheaper, because it's just not worth it. But yeah, that's a little update with Destiny 2. Still haven't done the raid, still been lazy about that. Same with Call of Duty World War II, just haven't really felt too much like playing either of those games. So, as for trophies earned this week, the first game I worked on was Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4, obtained the Platinum Trophy, so we can go through the whole list now. Thankfully, I didn't run into any, major game-breaking glitches, but there were a lot of just, minor bugs and issues that were far more prevalent than your normal Lego games, so even on PS4, I would be a little bit worried about doing this game. I would be a little bit more careful if you're going to do this one on PS4. Make sure to back up your save fairly consistently, especially before you're going into the few trouble spots from PS3. I have no intentions of doing this one on PS3 just because I've heard it's far worse and far buggier and all. I just don't really want to take the risk of losing, 20, 25 hours of progress because of something like that happening. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've run into a game-breaking bug like that. I mean, look at, Homefront: The Revolution or Mad Max. But yeah, just be a little bit careful if you're going to be doing it. So to get the Platinum Trophy, you're going to get these first 6 trophies for completing the game. You can technically miss the Transfiguration lesson, but you can go back and do it later. So all of those are basically story-related trophies. Then we get to some collectible trophies. You have to find all the house crests in each episode, like in each chapter of each movie, whatever you want to call it. So there are a total of 4 pieces per level, and there are a total of 24 levels, so that's about 96 house crests to find. A lot of them are very easy to find in this game. Like, a good half of them can be done without any special abilities. And that's a nice thing about the Lego Harry Potter games, is that each character has like a bigger range of different spells they can use. And those spells can do all sorts of stuff, from putting things together to Reducto for blowing up silver objects. All sorts of stuff like that. The only unique characters that you need are a Dark Wizard, a Safe Key character such as Grip Hook, and I want to say there's one other one that you need, but I can't remember what it is. I want to say it's a Strong character is the other one, so someone like Hagrid. As for other collectibles, though, there are 20 red bricks. These are in the hub world in this game. Those are your cheats. And, of course, they don't disable trophies or anything like that. The gold bricks, this trophy I was a little bit worried about, because you might be able to see in the image, this trophy did not unlock until I was halfway through the bonus level, but I kind of forgot it was in the game, and that's why I didn't panic and re-download a save or anything. So that scared me a little bit, realizing that later on, but thankfully it did unlock. So there are 200 gold bricks in the game. You're going to get 4 for each level by doing all the collectibles and beating the level and filling the stud meter and everything. And then the rest of them are all scattered around the hub world. There's also 10 bonus levels you have to do, 10 semi-bonus levels or challenge levels, whatever you want to call them, before you do this actual bonus level here. Then you have to rescue all the students in peril. There are 50 of those, 1 in each mission, and then 26 around the castle. This is for filling the stud meter on every level. That's pretty self-explanatory, especially once you have the red bricks going. Then you have to complete the game to 100%, which is purchase everything and find everything. That's basically the 100%. Pretty simple. Then you have some various miscellaneous trophies for purchasing certain characters. You can't do this one until the very end of the game, because you can't unlock the Voldemort character token until you have all 200 gold bricks, so do keep that one in mind. The Gryffindor Quidditch team is easy, just buy all the characters. The Time Turner is unmissable while going for all the collectibles. The Lego Builder tutorial levels, there are 4 of them. They're kind of pointless, but they're if you wanted to like make your own levels. Lego Indiana Jones 2 did kind of the same thing, I remember. These are accessed in the Gringotts Bank with the bonus levels. 20 enemies with Fang, just load up Fang on any level and kill with him. Buy all the Weasleys. This is one of the last trophies you're going to get. It was my last trophy. Go into the final level of the first movie and defeat Quirrell by playing as Voldemort. So you do need to be playing as Voldemort for that. And make sure you select him at the start of the level. 10 million studs in a level is unmissable with the red bricks. 20 spiders with Ron, load up. It's one of the last couple missions of the second movie, and you can easily grind out 20 kills there. Glacius is a secret spell you have to buy from the last shop in Diagon Alley, or no, not, whatever it's called, Diagon Alley, that's it. I was blanking out a little bit there. You have to purchase it there and then use it to freeze characters, but they don't have to be enemies. You can freeze the same one 20 times. Sort of the same thing here. You have to use a ghost character and scare people and do it 20 total times. Pretty easy. More character purchasing. This is another level-specific trophy. You're going to need to have Quirrell unlocked, and you're going to need to complete the last section of the Troll mission, which I think is either the second or third level from the first movie as Quirrell. So, pretty simple there. This is one of the first trophies I got, knocking over 10 characters with a broom or something else you can ride. Very easy. Hide in any barrel while playing as Snape. You can do it in the hub world and in some of the missions. This was another one of the last few trophies I got. You need to go into the final level of the game, play all the way to the end of it, making sure that you have Harry and Voldemort in your party. Then select Voldemort as your character and use him to kill Harry, not the actual, like, if it was a reversal of the boss fight, but just Harry while you're wandering around in the graveyard there. This is a miscellaneous trophy, a very nice little miscellaneous trophy, turning the sound and music completely off when you go into the library in Hogwarts. Then you have the 10 enemies with a Muggle character. Just select any Muggle character and get 10 kills in any level. The Devil's Snare Plants. This one's a little bit grindy, potentially. The best place to do it is in the final level of the first movie. The Quidditch level within 5 minutes is pretty easy as long as you're playing in free play and not going for any of the collectibles and stuff. It's like, I think, the third level of the first movie. Then you have 500 Ghost Studs, which is very easy, and unlike what one of the guides says, this trophy is actually not missable. You just have to sort of wander around Hogwarts even once you've completed the game, and you'll still see Nearly Headless Nick there dropping Ghost Studs, so don't worry, it's not missable. And I mean, a huge chunk of players have that trophy anyway. But when it comes to the gold bricks, we'll scroll back up to those. Just be very careful with this. The known buggy areas are the clock tower, the library, and the bonus room, like when you actually go in and purchase Voldemort. Oh, and there's one other one. What's the last one? Those are 3 of them. Oh, the Charms Classroom, that's it. The Charms Classroom, specifically the Charms Classroom basement, is like the most infamous glitch spot. So just be on the lookout for those few areas, and I would suggest in this game do all of the open world collectibles first. Like, focus on doing the open world collectibles before you go back to the story collectibles. That way, if something does glitch, you don't end up wasting another 5 hours doing all the story stuff. But this game, it's, a 2.5 out of 10. I mean, it's a pretty typical Lego game. It's not difficult. It's just more stressful when you're worrying about everything potentially going wrong. And I like the Harry Potter content stuff. I like the Lego games, but just I don't like being stressed out by the highly likely prospect of the game bugging and making me have to start over. So just be careful if you're going to play this one. Years 5 through 7 has no real issues on either version of the game. So that's good, though that game does have a missable trophy, which is extremely rare in Lego games. Next up, Goosebumps, Dead of Night. This is the second Goosebumps game. This one's pretty quick and easy, as to be expected. You can do it in under 2 hours. As long as you're following a guide, I followed Bad Driver's Guide for this one, you're going to be good to go. So for the trophies, you're going to get these first 3 here for completing the 3 areas of the game. And I think the game does have a chapter select. Like, each of these 3 levels takes like 20 to 25 minutes or so if you know what you're doing. The game is a first-person puzzle-based game with a little bit of running away and hiding from enemies, as well as just a little bit of really weird combat later in the game. So it's a pretty simple overall game, and, it could have been fairly good, but it's really just not that fun. And I mean, maybe it would be better if you're more of a Stein fan and reader, so if you're more of a fan of this kind of stuff, then you probably get more of a kick out of the game, but it wasn't really all that interesting for me personally. Then you have to get killed in a bunch of specific ways. So I want to say the graveyard ghoul's in the first level of the game, the werewolf is in the first area, the murder clown is in the first area, the bees are in the second, the Venus flytrap's in the second, Slappy, he can kill you in the first area and maybe in the other ones. The witch is in the third level, the gummy bears are in the third level, the henchman's in the third level, the annihilator I think is in the third level, but I could be wrong on that one. Then you have some miscellaneous trophies. For here, you have to find a spider for a little jump scare in the first level. Then you have two trophies here. You have to drink each of these potions, and you have to drink Margaret's to forward the game, but you can also make and drink Dr. Brewer's. So that is a pretty highly missable trophy there, so just keep that one in mind. You have to drink both potions. Then you have to die by falling into a pond in the second level. Then you also have to discover the vent system in the second level, and you have to fall off the Tesla platforms in the third level. The game is extremely easy, especially if you're following a guide, with the exception of the last part of the third level. In the third level, you have to sort of sprint across a bunch of platforms before the final boss, and it's really annoying because you have such a limited sprint, and sometimes the platforms go away a little too fast, so that requires just, I would say, a little bit of luck, and maybe I was just doing something wrong, but maybe a little bit of luck to get through that part, so just be a little bit careful on that one. And then the final boss fight, I mean, it's really not hard, it's just kind of cheap, because if you get hit once, you have to restart, and that sets you back a few minutes, and it's not really the most telling when you're going to get dive bombed by a witch or something, because that's kind of what happens in it. So it can be a little bit annoying, and the game should not have turned into a really awkward first-person shooter. Albedo Eyes from Outer Space did the same thing, and that game was awful. But yeah, as long as you are following a guide, you can get this platinum in under 2 hours. It's no higher than a 2 out of 10 in difficulty. I'd put it right around the 2 out of 10 in difficulty, because it requires at least a little bit of skill at times, but it's still pretty quick and easy. This game does have a North American and a European version. It's ridiculously overpriced. I actually rented it off of GameFly. So I would recommend doing that if you can, or waiting for it to go on sale for something really cheap. But it's not like the first Goosebumps game that was more of a point-and-click type of game, almost, or text adventure, almost. So that was the other platinum I earned this week. Next up, Overcooked 2. Just got started on this game on my main account, which is awesome. This game is a lot of fun. I played through the whole thing to 100% on my alt account with my girlfriend, and now we are currently playing through this. We're playing through the game a second time on my account, now that I know I can do it. And so far, knocking on wood, so we're right there, it has not been too difficult. So far, I would say we've been able to beat every level, and I mean, I know this is the second time we played through the game, but we've been able to beat every level except for one of them within 2 tries, and we're all the way through level 5-4 with 3 stars on every regular and Kevin level. So we've made extremely good progress, because there's only 6 worlds plus the intro level and the final boss fight level. So we're making fantastic progress on the game. We'll probably be done with the 3 stars pretty soon. But this game does have a lot of miscellaneous trophies, and we'll look at that in a minute, and it has a lot of DLC trophies. So, as for the trophies, you have to complete the main story, as well as getting 3 stars. Basically, the goal of the game is to get 3 stars on all levels, which is, for the most part, it's not too bad once you understand the gimmicks and stuff of the levels, but a few of them can be a little bit tougher. Delivering 1,000 meals is pretty much unmissable, more 3-star trophies. So as you can see here, we finished all the levels all the way through World 4, including the first 6 Kevin levels. So there's 2 Kevin levels, and I believe 8 standard story levels left in the game for us to play through with 3 stars. Deliver every type of meal, I think, is going to come naturally once you complete the game. Complete any kitchen by doing all the recipes in order. You're going to get this one naturally because it builds up a combo that gets you more points. The throwing 100 ingredients into a cooking pot you might get, but the good thing is you can do these miscellaneous trophies in the DLCs as well. So I'm not really going to go for them until I've finished all the DLC stuff. So I don't know how long this platinum's going to take, because we don't play, every single day. So it's going to come down to whenever we decide to play the game, we'll work on it slowly but surely. We'll get through everything. That's really the whole gist of it. So it could take a while to get through all of the trophies in the game, both the base game and the DLC. But I mean, we'll get through it eventually. 10 games in versus mode. You also have to play 10 games or 15 games in versus. Versus is, I mean, this one requires 2 controllers to play in versus mode. You don't actually have to have the second controller do anything. You just have to finish the games, which is just going to add an extra hour to your platinum time. Then finish 15 arcade games. The arcade games are basically just go into any random level. I don't really understand what the point of these are, but you can do them solo, which is good. You have a tutorial level trophy here, which is obviously the first trophy most people are going to get, although it looks like a lot of people that bought this game never got it, okay? Extinguish a burning kitchen. If you don't have this happen just by naturally playing through the story, I'd be shocked. 3 stars on all the levels in World 1, 2, and 3. All the chefs is going to come naturally, I believe, by getting 3 stars in every level. Then you have to throw 500 items. You'll probably get this one naturally. You have to catch 250 of those items, which may be a little bit more difficult. It depends how much you're actually throwing stuff. Again, it's good to do a lot of this stuff in the DLC as well. Throw away 99 items or put them in the bin, as it's called in the game. So just throw 99 items away in the garbage can. Wash 300 plates is probably going to come fairly naturally. Use all the emotes. You can do that in like a second. Go through portals 75 times. You're probably going to get that naturally if you're doing all the DLCs. Chop 800 items. You will probably get this one naturally while going for 3 stars in every level. And all the switches in the world map is basically an unmissable story-related trophy. So that's the base game. Then as for the DLCs, 3 of the DLCs have completely identical trophies. You have to get 3 stars on all levels, and that will earn you 4 of the 7 trophies. The 5th trophy will come from delivering every type of meal. So those trophies are the same in Surf and Turf, Campfire Cook-Off, and Carnival of Chaos. And by the way, for some reason, Surf and Turf is not included in the Season Pass. And also, the seasonal updates are not required for any trophies, which is kind of nice because those are some of the hardest levels. But then your other 2 trophies in each DLC are just miscellaneous objectives like washing plates with a new water gun, using the bellows 500 times. For Campfire Cook-Off, you have to burn wood and take items from backpacks. We'll look at Night of the Hangry Horde in a second. For Carnival of Chaos, you have to fire from a cannon 100 times and add mustard or ketchup to a recipe 100 times. As for Night of the Hangry Horde, though, this one's a little bit different because it introduces a new type of level. So you have to get 3 stars on all the levels. That's 4 of your trophies here once again. But instead of the meal-based trophy, you also have to survive all the Horde stages with a full kitchen. This is pretty tough because the Horde levels play very differently. They play in a much more stressful fashion, a little bit of Nazi zombies thrown in here. And a few of them are easier to do solo because of the scores, or because it seems like there's, fewer things coming after you and such. So this is probably, I would say, the hardest trophy in the entire game. I got it on my alt account, but it's definitely, I would say, probably the hardest trophy in the game. Burn 300 buckets of coal and chop ingredients with the guillotine. Just all those trophies are pretty grindy, but they aren't necessarily difficult. So I don't know when we will end up getting this platinum in 100%, but it will come eventually. It's just going to take some time because obviously, again, we're not playing it every day. We're playing it probably a couple times a week and making whatever progress we can during those couple hours. So we'll see, though. It will eventually get done. It's not really all that difficult. Like, with all the DLCs, it's maybe a 5 out of 10 total because of a handful of levels in both the base game and especially within the DLCs, mainly those, like, Horde levels. And finally, I've made a good amount of progress on Wolfenstein Youngblood. So I killed 20 drones. This one's very easy, pretty tough to miss. There's tons of drones throughout the game. 50 enemies with explosives, very simple. Just, throwing grenades and stuff. You'll probably get this one naturally. Then you have Gore, 150 enemies. You're going to get this one naturally over time, but maybe not as quickly as some of the other trophies. Get through 10 code locks. You're going to get this while going for all the collectibles, and probably by the time you beat the game anyway. Then you have to kill an enemy within 3 seconds of uncloaking 50 times. I'm kind of surprised I got this one so easily, but it's pretty simple, I guess. Just, uncloak and instantly kill someone. You can just use the throwing knife, because the throwing knives get really powerful over time, especially if you're on the lower difficulties. 100 pep signals, you're going to probably get this one naturally as long as you remember to use them. Fully upgrading a certain brand for a weapon is pretty simple. So, like, fully upgrade all of the Steyr parts, for example. I believe that's what it wants you to do. I'm not entirely sure, but you're going to get this naturally because you have to fully upgrade every weapon for this one, for all the improved weapons upgrades, which requires something like 140, 150,000 coins, which is terrible. I'm making progress on the abilities, and I am making progress on the weapons upgrades. Both the pistol and the machine pistol are fully upgraded, and I don't think the melee weapon has to be upgraded, so there's like 6 or 7 weapons left. Then I defeated the Uber Guard in Brother 2, which is a story-related trophy. The God Key is a story-related trophy. Lab X is a story-related trophy. Meeting Your Father is a story-related trophy. And where's the other? Well, I guess we'll look at it in a second. But those are all story-related trophies and unmissable. 200 supply crates. You're going to get this one naturally, most likely. Then you've got to find the souvenir from Dunwall. This is found in one of the specific areas of free roam. I was hoping it would tell me what the area was. I want to say it might be it's in the area around Brother 1, I believe. One of those areas. As long as I stumbled across it completely by accident, but I think it was actually marked as a collectible because there is an upgrade that you can get that will show all the collectibles on the map. Even though it's not really the best map or anything, because it doesn't always differentiate between heights, and there's no just individual mini-map you can pull up with the start button or anything, which is annoying. You have to find all the collectibles, of which I'm probably like 2/3 of the way through all the collectibles. You do not have to find the treasures, by the way. Thankfully, I think that was actually DLC. Sort of surprised they never added in trophies for that. Then you have to find 60,000 coins. You have to find like more than double that to get the platinum anyway. All the undergrounds, I think, is tied to side missions. More collectible there. And then achieving mastery level 10 with all the weapons is an absurdly long grind, just like with getting the coins for the upgrades. Though I did finish off a melee weapon. This one's pretty easy. If you're using a lot of stealth and stuff, you're not going to have a problem with this one. I now understand what this one is. Kill 50 enemies with their own bullets. It's a pretty cool ability that you get at the very end of the game. And then a story-related trophy for completing the main story. So, it's not really like a hard platinum by any means. It's just, it takes absolutely forever because there's so much grinding and it's so boring at times. It's taken me about 12 and a half hours to get to where I am, where I finished the story, and I think it said 77% of the side missions and a huge chunk of the collectibles are done. So, with that, level 712, 1%, 19,736 total trophies, 483 platinums, 2,793 golds, 5,280 silvers, 11,180 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. I'll continue working on Wolfenstein, though I highly doubt I'll be done with it by the end of the week. So I'll continue working on that. I will probably get some progress made in Overcooked 2 at some point during this week, as long as me and my girlfriend are hanging out. Sort of depends on how busy work is, though, because work's going to be kind of busy for me this week, mostly because we're having like a small get-together, not a party or anything, but just a small like get-together before the holidays later this week, which that should be fun. We're doing Secret Santa and everything. So I'll work on those, and maybe I'll work on Destiny 2 and, Call of Duty World War 2. We'll just have to see what the time looks like. But pretty soon, though, 17 platinums, or 16 platinums, and then I go for number 500. I gotta get started on Far Cry 2 soon. Kind of looking forward to that, and also kind of not. Because I've just heard various stories about how that campaign is. So yeah, that's sort of the plans for this week. I will also mention that GTA 5 is getting another heist, like a really big heist apparently. And I think that comes out on the 15th, so within the next couple of days. I hope it doesn't have trophies, and I'd be very surprised if it does, given that the casino heist didn't have trophies. But honestly, you never know how Rockstar might be. They might be trying to troll people and get them back involved in the game before the PS5 version comes out. So hopefully there's no DLC trophies, because I really don't want to have to continue playing that game for any longer than needed. But you never know, it might happen. I also still want to go back and play Steel Dawn for Fallout 76. I just want to at least see what it's like, so maybe I'll jump into that this week, but we'll have to see. Otherwise, though, schedule should be pretty normal this week. After this week, though, is, of course, Christmas week, so that's going to be a very different schedule because holiday time, yay! And speaking of holidays, one of the gifts I'm getting is another video game cookbook, and it is actually written by the same person that wrote the Fallout one. So expect recipes from another major title in the upcoming future. So that'll probably be like starting at the very end of December or early January. So otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you for the next one.